I don't know why I'm hitting on you. Let's answer these questions. All right, so we've got our diagram. There's two segments. We go from longest to shortest. National's always the longest, so whatever segment it's in, it's the first one. And same sort of thing in reverse for sports. And I is before W, no matter where we go. Let's dive right in. I got a global accounting question. So let's deal with that. Answer choice A, though, breaks that fourth rule. You had to have the national being the first in its segment. Answer choice C breaks the sports rule. It had to be the last in its segment. Answer D breaks the sixth rule. The international has to be before the weather if they're in the same segment. And that leaves us with only answer choice B, which I have already put into my diagram. There's one way we could arrange our two segments. We could put them in order. Let's take these other questions. Question 2, traffic is the last in the first segment. What has to be true? All right, I'm just going to get to work. Traffic is the last in the first segment. So 2 things before traffic, 2 things over here. I don't have any rules about traffic, but what I did have a rule about is that sports had to be the last in its segment, so we must have sports here. And now, national is first in one of these segments. I is before W if they're both in segment 1, but I don't know. What must be true? National is first in the first segment. Yeah, or first in the second segment. The international is the second report in the first segment. I don't know. C, the weather is the second report in the first segment. I don't know. The national report is the first in the second segment. I don't know. The sports report is the last report in the second segment. Come on! Why did it have to be E? Don't make me read through all those answer choices. I hate reading. Question 3, if the national report is the first one in the second segment. Let's take a look at that. National is the first report in the second segment. Now we have to have a box here. We always have to have something local. I don't know, right? That box could be sports. Sports is going to be last in some segment, but it might be traffic. It might be weather. Exactly how many of the reports are there, any one of which could be the first report in the first segment? What could be the first one here? Well, let's see. Not national now, not sports ever, and not weather ever. Weather has to come after the after the international. So if we're not doing national, we're not doing weather, and we're not doing sports, that means that first one is either traffic or else international. There are 2 things that could be first here. So traffic or international. And that's question 3. Question 6. If the traffic report is the first report in the first segment, what could be true? All right, traffic is the first report in the first segment. So 2 there, and then national has to be the first in its segment, so that's national. And there always has to be a square in each segment, so that's a square. And now, I don't know, but I do know that this square is not traffic. So it is either sports or else it's weather. If it's sports, you have international before the weather. If it's weather, sports is always the last in its segment. So that would mean international is here again. So if traffic starts out, there's only 2 ways that this could go down, and those are they. Answer choice A, what could be true? The international report is the first one in the no, it's not. The national report is the second. No, it's not. It's first. The weather report is the second in the first no, it's not the second. The weather report is the first in the second segment. No, it's not. E, the weather report is the last report in the second. Yes, that could be true. That then leaves me with what? Question 4 and 5. I'll take 4, which the following cannot be true. 4 of these things could be true. Answer choice A, the international is the first one in the first segment. Yeah, that could be true. I've already seen it happen. Check it off. B, national is first in the first segment. Yes, that can be true. Check it off. National is first in the second segment. Yes, that can be true. Check it off. D, weather is the first report in the... No, weather is never the first report. Weather has to go after the international. It's never the first. That can't be true. That's our answer. That leaves us with only question 5. The order of the reports is fully determined if which one of the following is true. Let's see. Answer choice A, international is the last report in the first segment. I've never seen that happen. Maybe that would determine where everybody goes. B, national is first in the first. Well, the only time I have national for sure first, I do know where everybody goes. I don't know. Maybe that does determine. C, national is first in the second segment. No, that doesn't determine where everybody goes because I got to have sports or weather after it. D, the sports is the last report in the second segment. No, that doesn't determine where everybody goes because here's sports is last and traffic's last. Here's sports is last and traffic's first. E, weather is the last report in the first segment. The only time I have that, I do know where everybody goes. So maybe that then would be definitive. I'm just going to start plugging in these remaining 3 answers. A, international is the last report in the first segment. Will that show me where everybody goes? Let's see. Now, sports will have to be the last in this segment. And now, weather can't be in the first segment because international is longer than weather. So weather would have to be here. And then that means that national has to be the longest report in the first segment, and that leaves only one space for traffic, and international being last in the first segment does tell me where everybody goes. And that brings this game to a tidy close. Isn't that right?